Welcome back. Believe it or not, even lawyers can get themselves into some sticky situations sometimes. I think you probably already knew that. And I think that's what we're watching today. We have a compilation of lawyers in legal situations, and we'll see if they can get themselves out of it or get themselves in trouble.
So I'm driving Uber. And my passenger's getting arrested.
Hey, Bob, turn that off, okay?
No, I'll keep recording, thank you. It's my right.
Don't record me, you got me?
I will look. You're a police officer on duty. I can record you. And if you come to this side of the vehicle, I can keep recording you.
Turn it off.
I can keep recording you.
Turn it off and take it jail.
For recording you, I'm sitting in my car holding my phone.
Record me.
What is the law? What are you arresting me for? I'm sitting here in my car. I'm just recording in case anything happens. I'm surrounded by 5 police officers.
The driver's right.
I'm scared right now. I'm not being a jerk. I'm recording it in case anything happens.
Well, you better hope we don't find something in your car, okay?
They're not searching my car
I'm going
because
to search your car.
you're not searching my car.
72 roll canine this way, please.
Ah, roll canines.
Bring the canines. I don't care, man. Like,
Okay.
I know my rights.
There you go. I hope so. I know what the law is.
I know the law. I'm an attorney, so I would hope I know the law.
Ah,
And an Uber driver?
And here, man.
And an Uber driver.
You want my bar card? Guess they're bringing the canines. He said that there's a law I'm not allowed to record the police. I just wanted to know what that new law is.
Well, you said you were an attorney, correct?
I am. I've never heard of this law that you're not allowed to record the police anymore. It must be brand new.
Okay, well, they just recently passed it, so...
Like super recently? Seems like a strange law. I showed him my way bill. I really am just driving Uber for some extra money. I don't know where these people are going to and from.
Really about 80. Are these his?
You from the area?
Probably. They're not mine.
I do most of them.
I have nothing in my car. There's no...
all right. So, I mean, tough situation, obviously, if I'm very interested to know how this came to be, why they wound up arresting a passenger, right? Why he got stopped in the first place. I have no idea. So, but a tough situation for the police because, you know, they do have to verify, is it an Uber driver? If there is something illegal in this guy's car, you know, you got to kind of sort those two things out. But the way to do it is through a lawful investigation, not through making up because clearly this driver is right. He can record them. You know, the threat of you better hope there's nothing in your car is all by the cop. I can guarantee you, I don't even need to see this any further. I can guarantee you there's no new law in this state where you can't record the police when they're out there in public during a traffic stop. So these cops are either not knowledgeable or both.
Drugs, there's no alcohol.
I didn't say you did.
Okay, well, the other officer told me he's taking me to jail, so...
Did I say that?
No, your friend said that.
Okay. My friend?
I
You
assume
mean the sergeant?
the sergeant, your friend, somebody...
Okay. This yours or his?
Probably his. Nothing that's in here is mine. That's sitting right there.
You don't mind me asking, where'd you pick him up from?
404 Thrasher. Drove him over to here. He told me he's picking up a paycheck, and I'm driving him back. Yeah. He said he works as a dog groomer, and that's his manager that pays him every week that he's going to pick it up from. Next thing I know, I'm surrounded by police.
Are you from the area here? You live here in Wilmington?
Yeah, I live here. I work at the courthouse.
You work at the courthouse?
Yeah.
Mr. Bright.
Yes.
How long you been an Uber driver?
Mr. St. Pierre. A year and a half, 2 years
Okay.
maybe.
Have you been stopped a lot? It's probably why you've been stopped because you're an Uber driver, right? Because there's a lot of history on the vehicle.
On this vehicle, there's history?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Okay. All right. Well, here's your license. We're going to...
All right, so a lot of people don't know that, is that the police have a database where it shows every time that license plate has been ran, right? So you could just be sitting there at a red light, it's a cop behind you, next to you, whatever. They can run your plate just to see who you are, just because they're bored if they want to. But there's a log history of that, right? It can also show if there's been narcotics or weapons found in the car in the past. So, you know, the police keep their due diligence in these databases, but obviously that is subject to, you know, to the mischaracterizations, right? I mean, this guy may have had his plate ran a lot, and that gave this officer some pause, but the reason is he probably drives all around town and just has his plate ran more than some other people. So that's what's going on here, and a lot of people don't even realize that there's that log of the plate being ran.
Wait for K9 because I don't know if he might have dumped something under the seat and you don't want us to look. So we're just going to have K9 come out and smell. And if they do an indication, if not, then you'll be on your way, okay, sir?
Okay. I mean, if he threw something under the seat, it still has nothing to do with me. Like,
Okay, but it's in your car. I'm not saying it has anything to do with you, sir. I've never said that, did I?
No,
I asked you a
I feel
simple
like
question.
someone's gonna be under the car, and you're gonna say, "I'm the driver. It's my vehicle. I'm responsible."
Negative, sir. I've never said that to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Can you understand my frustration? I'm
Sure
just
I
at
do.
work.
I should.
I
I
do.
absolutely do.
All
What's
right.
your registration? Just hold on a minute, okay?
Thanks, man.
All right.
So
I
I'm
like
maintaining
that
2
sergeant
active
a lot
addresses.
better.
I get paid out to. No, I work at the courthouse here,
Okay.
but I get paychecks sent to Raleigh, so I have to maintain a Raleigh
What
address.
courtroom you work in? You work at 317?
317 or 200.
I've seen you there,
Or
yeah.
I'm in courtroom.
Okay.
I mean, I've been in that courtroom for like around 3 years now. So
Yeah. Okay.
Probably
That's why
seen
you
me
look
out there.
familiar to me. Yeah.
Public
Just dressed
defender.
different.
Usually in a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see that the officers really softened up there, probably because they got a sergeant who really knows what he's doing and knows the law a bit more than maybe some of the other guys. Obviously, they built a little rapport there at the end, but I mean, let's not put this all on the officers. It is, it is a tough situation when if they find something in the car, most of the time they're going to be very, very suspicious of the driver and owner of that vehicle. Right. But possession, and it doesn't seem like they found anything, but if they were possession, at least here in Illinois, requires both knowledge and control. So if it's in his car, there's an argument that he has control, but not if it's in the other guy's backpack or not if it's just a passenger who, has it on him. And then knowledge obviously is knowledge. Did he even know it's there? If someone tossed something under his seat, even though it's in his car and maybe even under his seat, he may not have knowledge of it. So it's a tough situation to sort out, but I'm glad to see that those officers cooled down a little bit, especially with the recording.
You're good to go? I'll stay here. You're good. What agency you with?
I'm the state attorney.
Same thing. All right. Thank you. Your tag didn't come back. Never seen that before. I'm sorry? Yeah. We're good now.
So it was.
We ran the tag. I've never seen it before. A Florida tag. It's never come back to anything before. So that's the reason for the stop.
What was the tag run for?
I'm sorry?
What was the tag run for?
Oh, we run tags all the time, whether it's at traffic lights and that sort of stuff. That's how we figure out if, cars are stolen and that sort of thing. Also, the windows were really dark. I don't have a tint measurer, but that's another reason for the stop.
Do you guys have cards on here?
Yeah, 1 second. Actually, this isn't my car, but I can write my name down if you'd like.
She says she's the state's attorney. I think that's what I heard.
What's your employee number? 157. Ready? There you are. Have a good day.
Like this. All right, so I think she said she's the state's attorney, which means she's the highest elected, legal official. She's the prosecutor for that county, and probably has, if it's a place like Chicago, hundreds of lawyers working under her, prosecuting all the crimes within that county. So that's who it sounded like she was, and they pulled her over, but the officer's right. Legally speaking, they can run her plate for no reason. Now, I think she suspects why she had her plate run. She may very well be right about that, and so are millions of other Americans right about that. But legally, and that's not right, but legally speaking, it is totally legal for an officer to run a plate for any reason or no reason whatsoever. So they run this plate. I have no idea if he's truthful or not, in the sense that the plate didn't come back to the registered owner. It should, but there's database and computer issues and connectivity issue. Who knows what it was? Maybe he was full of shit. I don't know. But either way, they stop her. It seems like they realize who she is, because very quickly they say, "Okay, be on your way." And this dumb officer throws in this TINS thing too. Everybody knows that TIN stuff is BS. They use it as an excuse to pull you over, see who you are, get inside your car, just like the plates, sort of excuse. So he was not very creative there. He said the one that all officers say, and that state's attorney knew it. But that's the thing. You're the state's attorney, and you prosecute tons of cases that start just like yours did. They just don't all end like yours did.
The city of Houston just spent thousands of dollars to settle a claim that an HPD officer jailed a lawyer for no good reason.
All the lawyer wanted was an apology. When she didn't get one, she sued. Now that the case is over, she talked to our Larry. See, Larry?
Well, Lynn, Mia, that lawyer wanted HPD to hold the officer involved accountable, but settled for money when they fought back.
I'm telling you, you're going to get arrested.
This Houston police officer.
I'm calling the captain on this. This is not right.
Jailed lawyer UA Lewis.
She put a homicide hold on me, so I didn't have a bond.
And made sure she stayed there overnight on an interfering charge.
Video doesn't lie, and it doesn't take sides.
Dismissed 3 months later. More aggravating, the lawsuit settled in Lewis's favor that she did not want.
I was hoping that HPD would look at her behavior and say, you know what? We don't agree with this. We don't agree with this. And what we're going to do is we're going to address this and address her and her behavior. I mean, McDonald's would do it.
Almost 4 years ago, Lewis called HPD when a mechanic put his hands on her coworker's wrist. But in her report, that officer doubted the, quote, attorney, took the other guy's side, and used handcuffs.
You're interfering with the police investigation.
After Lewis spoke up, prosecutors pushed a plea deal for months.
As a civil rights lawyer, I could not.
But Lewis fought. Once cleared, she asked HPD to discipline the officer involved. Attorney Randall Callanan sued when they did.
People are arrested for, for lack of a better term, failure to bow down to a police officer.
When she took that authority and abused it, and I know it as a civil rights lawyer, how could I let her get away with that? How could I not have her to address that?
Last month, the city settled for an undisclosed amount. In a statement, a spokesperson told us, the city tries and settles many disputes and always weighs the risks of litigation and makes decisions in its best interest and that of taxpayers. This case was no different. Lewis offered the city a partial refund, $5,000 for an apology, but she's still waiting.
Now tonight, that officer is still on the force. HPD had no comment about this case. We mentioned that Ms. Lewis is a civil lawyer. She actually won a judgment today. She says this case helps her to be a better lawyer because now she can relate to the people on the other side of the bar.
She's not telling you how much she settled for, is she?
No, she's not, but it was enough that she could offer $5,000.
I got you. Thank you.
Probably can't. Maybe part of the settlement agreement that you can't disclose the number. Anyways, she's right. Tons of people are, pushed into those situations after they're arrested. So let's see. Let me break this down. She's on the scene of some car dealership. She or somebody calls the police. Cops come up and have to sort of sort it all out. I don't envy that, right? That's a tough situation. Think of like a domestic where husband and wife are fighting behind closed doors, and then, cop comes to the door and has to sort out who hit who, different stories, conflicting stories. That's a tough thing to do, absolutely. Oftentimes, though, they do make a decision. They have to split that up, and certainly some crime was probably committed, so they have to sort of make decisions. They do make wrong decisions sometimes, right? And that's human in some sense. But it seems like there was video evidence here. It seems like there was a poor investigation from the start. That's different. And this attorney then says very briefly in passing that there was a murder hold, meaning she was arrested, and for a lot of small cases, right, like a misdemeanor, they'll release you right from the police station. On a more serious case, like a felony, then they're going to hold you overnight until you go see a judge. I'm not familiar with how it works in Houston, but it sounds like that's what they did. They held her longer than necessary on what was almost certainly some misdemeanor minor offense. And that right there is absolutely grounds for a lawsuit. If you've ever stayed the night in jail, especially if you've ever stayed the night in jail without legal justification, in my opinion, you are entitled to compensation because that is terrible and nobody should have to go through that. Sounds like that may be the crux of that lawsuit, but you're not going to get an apology. It's really rare, and it has to be an extreme circumstance, unfortunately, for officers to get disciplined. They have qualified immunity. They have unions. There are many complaints, many legitimate, also many not legitimate, against police officers. So it's difficult to sort out. So if you think you got a case, and especially if you're a civil rights lawyer, you're going to sue. Sounds like she did and got a settlement there, pushed it at the end just to see if she can get an apology. Just kind of a good measure, a little jab at them. Say, hey, I'll let the city save $5,000 if the officer apologizes. Of course they didn't. Now, there may be some legal reasons for that. An apology is, can be seen as an admission of wrongdoing and things like that. But I like the way that went down. Good for that lawyer for pushing it, and that's sometimes the only time you can get, get retribution is by filing a lawsuit. All right, so it certainly helps to be able to tell the cop that you're an attorney, right? I mean, they kind of back down, maybe a little bit. I don't know. You saw a couple situations there where attorneys got themselves out of some trouble. You saw one or two where they got themselves in trouble as well. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you like to see these reactions to videos like this.